Subject of tonight's Waters words, Joe Biden was supposed to be working for the American people, but he was selling himself to China on the side. The laptop and the wire transfers provide the roadmap of corruption. Hunter Biden's emails, text messages, and Tony Bobulinski's eyewitness account show that Joe was for sale. He was being marketed to China, and he was in on it the whole time. Mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. Get Joe involved. Truly family business, read the texts. Best wishes from the entire Biden family, Hunter writes to a Chinese oil tycoon. Chinese Communist energy executives offered a $5 million interest-free loan to the, quote, Biden family, and even asked if they needed additional funds. Joe flies his son to China on Air Force Two, our dime. Hunter introduces him to a Chinese executive, and then boom, they launch a fund the next week. They give the VP's son a board seat and a 10% stake. The fund's linked to the Chinese military, by the way. The Chinese nationals, heavily involved with the communist regime and the People's Liberation Army, wired $4.7 million to Joe Biden's son, who sent $1 million plus to Joe Biden's brother, and $6 million to a Biden family surrogate. What was the money for? We'll get to that in a second. Why is the vice president's son getting bribed with Chinese diamonds? Why is Joe Biden's family in business with a Chinese communist who was arrested for bribing African leaders with shoeboxes full of cash? Shoeboxes. Why'd they wire Biden's son $1 million to help him get off? Joe Biden shared an office with the Chinese communist firm's money guy in D.C. The guy's name was Dong. Does Joe know Dong? Seems like a good question for the media to ask. Or how about, did Joe meet Tony B? Why do you think not a single reporter has asked this question? One reason is because Joe Biden only does interviews with comedians.
I am not concerned about any accusations been made against him. It's used to get to me. I think it's kind of foul play, but look, it is what it is, and he's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know. I mean, in a pure intellectual capacity. And as long as he's good, we're good.
Hunter is the smartest man Joe knows. That's like saying Donald Trump is the shyest person in politics, or Greg Gutfeld is the tallest person at Fox. It's preposterous. And Colbert didn't even follow up. Mr. Biden, you know Barack Obama, Warren Buffett, Tim Cook, and Elon Musk. And you're saying to me Hunter is smarter than they are? The guy who just fought a paternity battle with a stripper and is under federal investigation for money laundering? Democrats get away with murder because the media doesn't even ask them why the dead body's in their basement. Joe can get away with saying, I love my son, he did nothing wrong, it's Trump or it's the Russians, and the scandal just evaporates from the lips of the press. Because the press is in on it, not just for ideological reasons, for profit. Parent company of CBS has big stakes in the China market and won't rock the boat there. They need revenues pouring in. Parent companies of ABC and NBC also have deep financial interests in China and won't expose the true scope of the Biden family scheme. They want U.S.-China relations back to normal. No tariffs, no scandals. Don't you dare scrutinize where the virus came from. It's back to business as usual. Americans just get ripped off unless you know the right people. But Waters World has been investigating who Joe's family is in business with. The Bidens are involved with CEFC, China Energy Company, and the China Energy Fund Committee. This was the largest energy company in China and its investment arm. These were loaded with Chinese communists and military men working for the president of China. China Energy was the major player in China's Belt and Road Initiative, and the Bidens were the brokers. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's scheme to expand their global power. Using energy deals, infrastructure, bribery, and debt diplomacy, the Chinese behemoth is working around the clock to furnish new trade routes, pipelines, and projects to enhance their influence and dominate world markets at the expense of us, America. China bought the Biden name, and the Bidens capitalized by providing access and credibility and helping broker China's international deals for a cut. From Kazakhstan to Oman, from Romania to Luxembourg, from France to Russia, Hunter and the Bidens helped China rise. What did they do with the money? Hunter used it on Russian escorts linked to an Eastern European sex trafficking ring. Imagine if Don Jr. had done that. But all the Bidens benefited. After a China-Russia deal was announced, they used a joint holding company to open a line of credit with a bank and distribute credit cards to Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Sarah Biden, resulting in a casual $100,000 shopping spree. Just follow the money. Why on the very same day Joe Biden visited Kazakhstan as VP, did Kazakhstan wire Hunter's firm $140K? Maybe Colbert can ask him next time. So while Americans suffered financially under the rise of China, the Bidens got rich. China knows it, and now Joe's exposed. And we'll see if brave prosecutors hold them accountable, or if powerful interests shut it down to keep the money to the big guys rolling in.
I think on the Breitbart, New York Post, Fox News rabbit hole of Hunter Biden, which I don't think anybody outside of that world understood last night, the Wall Street Journal reported that their review of all corporate records showed no role for Joe Biden on the Chinese deal.
Obviously, we're not going with the New York Post story right now on Hunter Biden.
Hey, Jeff, it's just David on the Burisma story, and we should be awfully careful about that, obviously. But I do think there's a media story of what in the world are Maggie Haberman and Jake Sherman doing retweeting that story.